There you guys go, ladies and gentlemen. Darren, the fire fryer.
Right on. Thank you so much, Jason, for the intro, as well as for introducing me into Olylife, as well as shout out Tyler Shirakawa. Wouldn't be here without you guys. I'm gonna keep this short and sweet and also make the presentation as efficient and fast as possible while covering all the most important details. But as Jason said, I'm Darren. I'm 34 years old, born and raised here in Maui, Hawaii. I got into the industry when I was 18, 19 years old. I was a broke college student with no money, no job, studying international business. And I came across network marketing. I saw other college kids back in 2013 doing this industry, making money, traveling, and not just making money, but having freedom to follow their passions. And I got into the industry, committed to it as if I enrolled in college and spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on student loans and really just studied personal development, sales, networking. And I was always very passionate about health. And, that's why I stay young because I've been a biohacking enthusiast. And, that's why I'm very excited and passionate about what we have here with Olylife, with our bioresonance devices, frequency healing, and all the stuff that I'll be getting into. I've been involved about 6 months ago, went full time in February because I realized that this was something I wanted to commit my entire life to, helping people transform their lives physically and financially. And I'm excited to get into the details of exactly how we're doing that with all this information. So, Oli Nation is our team. We're a nation of very, very kind, thoughtful, talented individuals looking to spread Olylife, the company that manufactures these incredible frequency wellness devices. So as always, I like to start my presentations with a few reference points. So everything else I cover can then trace back to what I'm covering in these next few slides. This gentleman, Nikola Tesla, incredible human being, one of the smartest, brightest minds in human history. In the 1800s, he actually helped create the alternating current, electrical current. So one of the founders of modern electricity. And he has these powerful quotes that I thought of immediately as I started learning about PEMF last year. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And our entire biological system, the brain and the earth itself, work on these same frequencies. So when one of the brightest minds in human history says these things, it's not for no reason at all. He obviously understood the power of frequency, of vibration, of all these different things. And we want to be able to, help people apply this knowledge because I'm always adamant about this simple phrase: information changes situations if you can learn how to apply the information. If you can't do anything with it, it won't do anything for your life. It won't change your life, won't change your situation. So how can we apply these simple and powerful quotes into your day-to-day life, into your daily routine, so you can actually have this specific information change your guys' situation both physically and financially? One other reference point before we get right into, the information of Olylife and our technology is the idea of a cat having 9 lives. So this kind of blew me away when I first got into Olylife, started researching PEMF. I heard a doctor talk about cats purring. So a cat has its legendary 9 lives because of its ability to purr. It, of course, only has one singular life, just like all of us on the call. They don't really have 9 lives, but they have, it seems like they have 9 lives because they're able to purr, and their purr has been studied to be a low frequency resonance that's actually proven to help stimulate bone density and fracture repair, tissue repair and wound healing, as well as pain relief and muscle maintenance. So cats are incredibly evolved mammals. They literally have the ability to frequency heal themselves from the inside out. And that is where the concept of them having 9 lives comes from. They literally vibrate themselves into optimal health. So when you see a cat, looks like it's on its last end of its life, and then a couple of weeks later, it looks brand new. It wasn't a new life that happened. It didn't rebirth itself. It just frequency healed itself. It curled up into a ball, purred and vibrated, and increased and accelerated the body's natural circulation and regeneration process. So those two reference points will really help you guys understand why the technology we're going to share with you guys today is so powerful. The testimonies are so consistent, and why this is a life-changing technology and device for so many people around the world. So let's get right into the details. So the company that we work with is called Olylife. Olylife is based out of Singapore. In 2022, they launched these products into the marketplace, but in 2019, they actually began 3 years of research and development. So they did 1,000 days of full research and development on these products. They own their own laboratories for R&D in Sweden and Germany. And at this point, right in May 2026, they have over 1,000 plus global patents. So the products I'm about to show you, each of these flagship devices have about 1 to 200 patents per product. They have European certifications, FDA registrations, and they have high quality safety certifications as well from Intertech. They're made with advanced chips and rare metals from Japan, and then the machines are actually assembled in China. So internal manufacturing in Japan, R&D in Sweden and Germany, and then they're assembled in China to really bring the price point down to make these as affordable as they really are. And they have headquarters in Singapore, Xiamen, China, branch offices Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, and very, very soon, here this summer, later this year, we have our first headquarters about to open in North America here in Anaheim, Los Angeles, California. So that is really going to kick off a lot of momentum for the North American and the English-speaking market. So very excited for the early phase that we are in with the company. So our company understands in America, especially, transparency is everything. So they say documentation can beat conversation. So they back everything up, thus having all the global patents, thus having the safety certifications and the testing. So they have all the documentation to really back up the conversations that we're constantly having about the technology and the power of these devices. And there's a big issue in North America. The company blew up in Asia. Their second year in business, they actually did over $1 billion in sales, their second calendar year in business. And that was primarily in Singapore, Malaysia, and Taiwan. Machines were barely in North America or Australia or Canada or Europe. Just about 12 months ago, they started really building the infrastructure and logistics to help us expand into these markets. And we are the biggest market in the world, not only the biggest consumer market, but the biggest market in terms of unhealthy human beings. We are the unhealthiest country on planet Earth, highest amount of obesity, heart disease, all these different things. We're very, very addicted to medications and drugs and invasive procedures, whereas the eastern side of the world in Asia, much more conscious about using holistic methods and traditional Chinese medicine. So North American wellness crisis is very prevalent, and we need things that are holistic, non-invasive, and natural, but also extremely powerful to help us transform our health in a positive way. 42% of Americans are obese, and a lot of premature deaths from all the inactivity, and an average American spending about 10 hours a day sitting in their desk or, on their couch or in their car. So a lot of preventable issues happening that we can really help with our technology. So this company isn't built off hype. It's based off of scientific backed research and a proven technology. One of the reasons why I decided to partner with this company. So our core technologies are PEMF and terahertz. Our machine is one of the only, if not the only device I've ever personally seen so far that's dual frequency, PEMF and terahertz. And these two frequencies have been around for decades. And these are some of the benefits of the different frequencies simultaneously: activating, revitalizing cells, promoting your meridian flow, detoxifying you on a cellular level, microcirculation of the blood, increasing metabolism, as well as pain, inflammation, and fatigue relief. So I'm going to go into each of those frequencies, starting with PEMF. PEMF is an acronym for pulsed electromagnetic field therapy. It's based off of the Earth's geomagnetic field, also known as the Schumann resonance. So NASA actually was the first people to invent an actual PEMF device. This was back in like the early 1980s or 1979. But actually in the 1800s, you guys can look this up, Nikola Tesla was experimenting with magnetic healing, using magnets and electromagnetic frequencies to heal people. And that was in the 1800s. NASA really made it a solid device when they realized that their astronauts that they were sending up into orbit were coming back to Earth with lowered bone density and muscle mass atrophying. They weren't able to walk, they weren't able to stand, their muscles had fallen apart, their bones had weakened every time they returned back from orbit, and they couldn't figure out why. They were giving them the best food, best water, best oxygen, they're exercising in outer space. And they realized by hiring Dr. Schumann, who actually discovered Earth's geomagnetic field, resonates at about 7.83 hertz. There's lightning striking the surface of the planet at every second of the day. The Earth is an energetic being, and we're human living batteries. We're water and electrolytes and minerals. We're living batteries, and the Earth is our charger. And the Earth's geomagnetic frequency was named after Dr. Schumann for his discovery. So the earthing frequency, when you're at the beach barefoot, when you're hugging a tree, is known as the Schumann resonance. The 7.83 hertz that, as Nikola Tesla said in my first reference point, the same frequency of the Earth is the same frequency of the human body and the brain and the biological system. So that is our body's base frequency. When they send astronauts up into orbit, they're very, very far. They're miles from Earth's geomagnetic field, and their cells lose charge, their circulation slows down. So they had to actually invent machines to put into the spaceships and space stations to keep that frequency present, so that would never happen again. And ever since they invented the PEMF devices through NASA, it wasn't an issue. Astronauts were not returning from outer space or the Earth's orbit with weakened bone density and weakened muscle mass. So PEMF can encourage cell repair and regeneration, increases the voltage of your white blood cells, supports healthy circulation, detoxification, as well as ease and movement. So a lot of benefits with PEMF. A lot of FDA clearances have been done in the early 90s on bone regeneration, tissue regeneration, and all these different things. But as you know, just because NASA astronauts have access to it doesn't mean 97% of the world have access to those same technologies and products. So they were very expensive devices. This is an example of a recent situation. So around 5 years ago, when the government shutdown happened here in North America, the astronauts were stuck in the USS Space Station, and they didn't know how long they'd be there. They had SpaceX and Elon Musk eventually send one of their rockets up to rescue them, but because they didn't know how long they would be stranded in the space station, they had to turn off their PEMF devices for a couple months because they had to conserve energy for all the vital technologies to keep them alive instantly. So they turned off their pulse electromagnetic field therapy devices. So they were up there for a couple months with no PEMF, no Schumann resonance. And these were images from them getting rescued from the SpaceX rocket. And as you can see, these astronauts could not stand, they could not walk, they had to get carried off of the SpaceX rocket that rescued them because they were up there for months without pulsed electromagnetic field. The same thing happened as in the 70s. Their bones lost muscle mass, or their bones lost density, and their muscles lost their muscle mass. So this was a recent example of how powerful these frequencies are. This was just because they were up there without that, but that hasn't happened in decades. That was a freak reason with the stranding happening. So that's how powerful PEMF is. So the evolution of PEMF, it started actually with EMF in the early 20th century. To help you guys understand the difference, EMF is electromagnetic frequency, also known as electromagnetic radiation, comes from the wireless communication network. So in the early 2000s, when everything went wireless and our phones became wireless and our Wi-Fi became wireless and there's 5G and 4G towers, those are negative frequencies not tuned to the Schumann resonance or the human body. So in the mid to late 20th century, a lot of research began to happen on the negative effects of electromagnetic radiation. All these wireless routers, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, radio, 5G, our wireless headphones, microwaving our brain with these negative frequencies. It's a lot of negative effects that will continue to come out as research continues to focus on it. In the 1970s, PEMF was discovered. 2000s, these machines actually went into wellness facilities, but these devices were hundreds of thousands of dollars. So the average person couldn't afford to have one of those machines. And even individual treatments were upwards of thousands to tens of thousands of dollars per treatment, per session. So it was out of the price range of most people. And then in 2020 is when Olylife began to reverse engineer, and eventually 2022 launched the first ever household consumer PEMF frequency healing device, affordable, priced around Apple products, which I'll cover. So everyone can afford to have this technology from the comfort of their home for less than the price of getting an individual treatment one time at one of these wellness facilities. People can now own the equipment, own the device, treat themselves and their household and their loved ones every single day for the next 50 plus years of their life with our devices. So Olylife brought this to the consumer market, which has never been done before. The other frequency is known as terahertz. It's a different wavelength that our machine also produces simultaneously with the PEMF. It's a much stronger wavelength designed to penetrate deeper into the skin, activates cellular energy, activates nerves, and there's a lot of benefits with blood circulation. So when you think of the combination of both frequencies, PEMF is going to increase the voltage of your white blood cells, and terahertz is really going to focus on increasing that circulation and microcirculation of your blood. And those are two foundational aspects of your body's ability to naturally heal and optimize and work on itself. When we think of traditional Chinese medicine, acupuncture, cupping, all these different things, even Tai Chi and doing all these movements, it's all about blood circulation and encouraging the body's natural healing process. So that's what these frequencies do at a very base level. And terahertz and PEMF combined create some synergistic effects, the way that they work together. So now let's talk about some disruptive phases. So we're all familiar with Apple and wireless technology. So Google transformed information, Apple transformed communication, Tesla, Uber, Lyft transformed the transportation industry, Netflix and Blockbuster. We've seen how technology has disrupted all these major industries within our lifetime, the last 10 to 20 years. Now it is time for technology to disrupt the wellness world, okay? Technology has yet to really adapt to wellness and healthcare and longevity. And that's really where we are now. And we're right at the upside of it. And you guys have all seen how well Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are doing by being a part of a disruptive phase of technology. And we can actually be a part of the disruption of technology with wellness. So the energy-based wellness industry is considered the sleeping giant of the wellness industry as a whole. So wellness right now is close to a $5 trillion market, and energy-based wellness or frequency wellness is one of the fastest growing segments. They say PEMF is literally the sleeping giant of the wellness and the longevity industry. That is the new flex. People, want to value their biological age more than their handbag and their vehicle. And that's the world we're coming in. Post-pandemic, people are more health conscious than ever. We're in the age of information. We can learn and make these decisions for ourselves and actually be in control of our own health and longevity. So energy-based wellness, booming industry that we get to be a part of right at the forefront. The weight loss market, as you guys see on TV and streaming sites, all I see is ads about peptides and weight loss. So weight loss is a gigantic industry, and especially in the North American market, the most obese, overweight country on the planet. Weight loss is going to double in the next like 7 or 8 years. So it's going to go from about 300 billion to close to 600 billion. Probably will break a $1 trillion industry by 2040. So we get to be a part of that with our devices. And then last but not least, AI. AI is considered the fastest growing industry in human history. If we think the internet grew fast, if we thought social media grew fast, AI is built off of the momentum of both of those. And the AI industry today is around 300 billion. They're expecting it to 10x in the next 10 years to $3 to $4 trillion. And our company is very, very involved in artificial intelligence and allowing AI to help with the logistics, but also with the products and the devices themselves. So we are in the inflection point with Olylife of all three industries: longevity, energy, wellness, weight loss, devices, and artificial intelligence. And we get to be a part of the movement. So we get a piece of that pie for our future family and for generational wealth. So let's get into the devices. So meet Olylife. Our company is focused on becoming the Apple of electromagnetic and energy wellness. So as you can see, all these devices are very sleek and sexy, very user-friendly, and also very affordable. They all do different things, leveraging PEMF and terahertz, or one or the other. And I'll go right into each of the products and I'll cover them very briefly. Our two flagship devices, the most powerful machines, the P90 and the P90 Plus. The P90 was the original flagship model. It's $1,000 US, just the foot plate device. You put your feet on the machine for 30 minutes for a full session, and it emits PEMF and terahertz from the soles of your feet through those energy channels and pathways and nerve endings into your entire body to increase that white blood cell voltage and blood circulation. Extremely powerful device. The P90 Plus is the older brother. The new and improved version has bigger foot plates for larger feet, wireless remote. It comes with those two wands right there, one for the face for non-surgical facelifts with radio frequency, electrical muscle stimulation, and the other wand to the right is a body treating wand called the Revitalux massager. It emits PEMF out of the wand, red light, vibration, heat, and also does EMS. So there's a TENS unit built in to stimulate muscle contraction. So P90 Plus for $1,500, hands down our most powerful, most popular device right now, and incredibly convenient to use. You use it very easily, sit on your chair, on your couch, use it while you're drinking coffee, reading a book, watching TV. Very minimal lifestyle change to use these products every day. The Galaxy G1 is our goggles. They're $500. They're low frequency PEMF goggles designed for your eyes and your brain health. So it does the heat airbag compression massage on your temples, has pinholes that you can look through that are designed to exercise your eye muscles to increase your eyesight naturally. And the low frequency PEMF is wireless, so you can charge it and it'll run for like 10, 15-minute sessions. It's designed to help stimulate blood circulation in the eye capillaries, in the brain, helping with all types of benefits. Just look up PEMF and eye health and brain health on ChatGPT, YouTube, or Google, and you guys will see for yourself. It's over 10,000 medical studies done on PEMF and thousands done on terahertz. So you can just YouTube it or look it up on ChatGPT, and it will show you all the benefits of what these frequencies can do for your whole body, as well as for your eyes and for your brain. Olylife Vitality Wand. I was actually just using this last night because I tweaked my neck skimboarding in the shore break. So I busted out the wand and it healed my neck and made it feel good. I was actually just at the beach right before this call, so I'm totally back to normal. Vitality Wand is a powerful spot treating tool. It has Dyson technology. It's $600, and the Vitality Wand blows hot compressed air with a longer wavelength of PEMF and terahertz to stimulate a deeper penetration of the blood circulation and the white blood cell voltage. And it's designed to penetrate through clothing and through a cast, and it comes with a case and a tripod, runs for up to 45 minutes, and it's an incredible, powerful spot treating tool for hitting your neck, your back, your shoulders, your knees, whatever specific part of your body you want to have some amplification of these frequencies. The Vitality Wand is extremely powerful. And then last but not least, we got the Shaken Massager, which is our newest product. It's a weight loss frequency belt that's designed to leverage 7 different technologies simultaneously to target the visceral fat on your body, specifically in your lower belly. So visceral fat is underneath the subcutaneous fat. It's usually around your internal organs and actually tends to be the most stubborn fat to lose, and also tends to hold on to all the toxins in your body. So this belt will use pulsed electromagnetic field, radio frequency, ultrasound. There's red light, vibration, heat, and massage. So all 7 simultaneously in the body shaping mode are designed to literally melt away the visceral fat. There's a lot of studies on ultrasound, literally like exploding the outside of the fat cells and breaking them down. And then you hop on a P90, P90 Plus, and really help your body circulate and detoxify those fat cells out of your body. So non-invasive, incredibly powerful weight loss belt. You recharge it and it'll run for about 10, 20-minute sessions. It's hands-free. So I don't have it on now, but I literally could be wearing it as I'm doing this presentation and you wouldn't even know. I'd be burning 500 calories and melting whatever visceral fat's still on my body by wearing that belt. We've seen some incredible testimonies, losing weight, losing inches in a matter of weeks, just using that device every day. And then the Bama Air A9 is our air purifier device. So this is a little different. It doesn't have PEMF and terahertz. It has a HEPA filter, But more importantly, what it does is it's a negative ion or anion saturator for your room. So it actually will saturate your room with millions of cubic centimeters of negative ions in the air. And they tested the healthiest people in all of Asia. It's known as Bama County, most centenarians living beyond 100. And they tested the air quality and found a high saturation rate of negative ions. And typically, you find negative ions in rainforests or at waterfalls or at the beach where the waves are breaking on the shoreline. A lot of negative ions in the air. They're called air nutrients. So they'll not only help attract to all the pollutants in the air, but by inhaling them, you're inhaling antioxidants and incredible results when you put that in your room and you sleep and you breathe in those negative antioxidants all night long. So those are the main flagship products of Olylife. As I said earlier, over 100 patents on each of those devices. They're all extremely powerful, affordable, and very easy to use and integrate into your daily routine. Now I'm going to do a quick run through of the business side of the company. So I'll keep this part pretty short and straightforward. Olylife, in terms of the timing, we're right at that red dot. We're right at the beginning of the explosive growth phase. They're about coming into their 5th year in business. They set up all the logistics and infrastructure with the headquarters about to open in North America. So we are right at the forefront of this explosive growth phase. This is the moment when the Apple iPod turned into an iPhone. You know, this is a big moment. This is when things really start to pick up momentum and move towards mainstream. And when that happens with Olylife, our company will go from $1 billion a year company to like $1 billion a month, $1 billion a week type company. And we get to be a part of that growth, and we get to take a nice share of that revenue into our own businesses as well if we participate in helping expand it. So let's get into some of the ways to get involved. Very easy. You buy at least $1,000 of devices for your own family, for your own household, and you get the lifelong business with Olylife. One-time purchase is all that's required, and you get the lifelong global business. No auto ship, no subscription, no requirement to ever purchase any other products. You're active for life. Volume never flushes or goes away, and we get paid daily in this business. So when you make commissions and hit these bonuses I'm about to show you, the money's actually in your bonus wallet the very next day. So very cool business model. 3 reasons why it's a home run. Our products are demonstratable. You can feel them work. People feel them work immediately once we put them on the machine, turn it on. They feel results in most cases after one session, depending on what they're dealing with physically. And it's not a huge lifestyle change. We're not telling people to change their whole routine, change their whole life. It integrates into your day-to-day routine about as easy as anything possibly could. So these 3 reasons make the business a home run, knock out of the park. Most companies in this industry maybe have one of these reasons. I know a lot of companies don't have any of these reasons. Supplements aren't that demonstratable. You don't feel them work right away. And generally, that's a big lifestyle change. You got to start changing your diet, doing extra dish work, doing all this extra stuff. So our company has all 3. So I'll briefly go over the 6 ways that we earn: the team bonus, performance bonus, tier bonus, group sales, coaching, and global pool. So our company pays us out 6 different ways simultaneously. You can earn all of these, and the next day, these are in your bonus wallet where you can withdraw your commissions. The first is breaking down how the structure works. It's a binary compensation plan, which is the easiest of all comp plans. There's comp plans that have 3 legs, 10 legs, unlimited legs. Trust me, guys, 2 legs is about as simple and easy as it gets. So all you have to do is focus on building your left team and your right team. And when you sign people up and sell them devices, you get to actually place them in your structure on your left or right. The only rule is your first sale has to go on your left leg. Then you could begin to place them anywhere. And it's really easy. All you got to do is try to balance out your legs to maximize the earnings on the volume under you. So the team bonus is the first bonus. Very straightforward. You could earn 5% of the person directly above you in the binary structure. So if you're directly underneath me, you're going to get 5% of whatever I earn. So if I earn $1,000, you'll make $50 off of my work and my sales. If I end up earning 10 grand by the end of that month, you would have earned $500 in this bonus off of my efforts. Even if you didn't demo a single product, sell a single machine, This is completely based off of the person you're directly underneath in the structure. It is based on the package that you start with, because you can start with up to $2,000 a product or $6,000 a product. This bonus caps at about 3 times that initial starting package. So if you came in on the 2K level, the most you can earn is $6,000. So I'll give you that example where you guys will see, if you were to start on the 2K level and I earn 120 grand and I'm directly above you, you would have made 5% of that $120,000 that I earned, which is $6,000. And that would be you capping out for life on the upline bonus. So it's not meant to make you rich. It is meant to help you break even and make up to 3 times your initial investment. And then it's going to motivate you to want to build these other bonuses and motivate your team. So the next bonus is the performance. It's a straight up direct sales bonus. So you get 10% commission of the product volume of all your personal sponsors and direct referrals. Product volume is simply a 75% of the product price. So if you sold a $1,000 P90, 75% is 750 product volume or point value, and you get 10% commission on that PV. So you make $75. So if you were to sell a $2,000 pack, it's about 1,500 volume. So you'd make $150 commission up front. $6,000 pack, you'd earn $450. 80% of these bonuses go into your bonus wallet, which is where you could withdraw your commissions, use our debit card in the future when it releases. And then 20% goes into your repurchase wallet from all of these bonuses I'm showing you. Repurchase wallet is known as your Olylife savings account. So that's where you'll be able to buy smaller devices that don't hit the flagship market, supplements, and a lot of really cool things that Olylife is going to release, not to the public, but within the Olylife community. The next bonus is the tier bonus. So this one's very powerful. This one, as Jason says, when people start to see this add up in their bonus wallet, it literally makes them cry tears of happiness, because it really shocks people how fast this adds up. I know when we were in Oregon and Krista's checked out her bonus wallet after a few days of grinding and we saw the tier bonuses add up, she was shocked, and most people are too, because I consider it a forced matrix down the binary structure. So if you don't know what that means, don't worry, I'll explain it. It's simply when a sale on one side of your business matches with a sale on the other side. So A1 matching with B1, doesn't matter who signs them up, whether you sponsored them, your upline, or someone below you brought them in, doesn't matter. If a sale on the left leg matches a sale on your right, you get a tier bonus of $375 to $2,250. So A2 and B2 match up. These are all $1,000 packages. You're making $375 on each tier. There's no cap to this. It goes infinite levels deep. Volume doesn't flush. So the fact that there's no cap is really powerful. If it goes down 100 levels, just times these tier bonuses by 100. If it goes down 1,000 levels, times them by 1,000. I mean, there's no cap. And that's one of the benefits of being in early in the company where we are now with the timing. It does scale to the bigger packages. So if it's a $2,000 matching a $2,000, as you see on the left, the tier bonus is actually $750. If it's a 6,000 matching a 6,000, then you make that $2,250 bonus on that tier. It is upgradable. So say on the left example, A1 is a 1,000 package and B1 is a 2,000. You would have only earned $375 off of that lower match. But when A1 decides to upgrade, you'll make an additional $375. So when these people decide to upgrade, which is optional, you will make the additional bonus. So you'll end up totaling that same amount of the $750 or $2,250. So it will make you another tier bonus as people upgrade. So I'll breeze through this section really quickly. This is going to just show you guys how the tier bonuses pay out. This is really how hitting the first rank in the company works. That's you on the bottom of my left, and you'll see as Jason brings in someone, as I bring in someone, you see we got to place them underneath your left. You're sharing these legs with your downline and your upline. Your first sale goes on your left, so you make your first performance bonus. These are all $2,000 packages that keep the math simple, and you'll see the calculator on the left kind of add up as the people start to roll into the structure. Your second sale you'll place on your right leg, and you activated your first tier of $750. We bring in your third sale. Oh no, those two people bring in their first sale, and you'll kind of see how the depth and the tiers start to grow just from everyone building their left leg and your upline bringing new people in. You'll start to build out your right. So you bring in your third, activate a second tier bonus. bring in your fourth sale, activate your third tier bonus. So this is just really how it could play out. This has happened for a lot of people in their first couple months, first couple weeks in the business. This tier is interesting though. You'll see that the yellows are your personal signups. Tier number 4, both icons are green. So one was placed actually by someone below you, and the other was placed by someone below you on your right, and you still earned a tier bonus. So this is where it becomes pretty passive, where you're getting these bonuses. Imagine making $750 and not actually doing anything yourself for it. It's very powerful when that happens. And as you continue to let your team grow, you'll see you're making more tier bonuses off of your team growing. Bring in your fifth, bring in your sixth sign up. And in this example, you've signed up 6 people. Your team underneath you and above you brought in a couple people each. And you could see how the calculator and the bonuses added up. You made about 900 in performance from those 6 direct sales. 750 times 7 is $5,250. So you've made over $6,000 in this example. And this is actually what it looks like to hit the first rank in the company. If you take the math of 1,500 on each of these icons, 7 people on each leg, you're over 10,000 volume on your left and 10,000 volume on your right. So you're essentially at that first rank of M1 star coach, which actually gets you a share in the global pool company bonus, which I'll go over after these next few ones. So few more bonuses, guys. Hold in there with me. We're almost there. Group sales bonus, very powerful, kind of direct sales, commission off of your team volume on the weaker of your 2 legs. So this is based on the weaker leg of your 2, and it depends on the package you start with. It is upgradable, so you could always upgrade yourself to get a higher percentage and a higher cap. $1,000 package, you get 11% commission on the volume coming in on the weaker leg, caps out at 1,000 a day in this bonus. The 2K sign up gets you 12% with a 2K daily cap. And if you start on the 6K pack, you'll get 13% commission on the volume of your weaker leg with a $7,000 daily cap. So if you're capping out every day at 7 grand, that's about $210,000 a month in just this bonus alone, not counting the tier bonus, upline bonus, and the other ones I showed you. So here's an example. Say your left leg has 20,000 plus volume, and your right leg goes out there and brings in 15,000 volume. Let's say you got 7 guys on your team who all sell 1 or 2 machines on your weaker leg. You would have made 12% commission off of that 15,000 volume, which equals $1,800 that you would have made that day. You would have almost capped out that day if you started on the 2K level. Imagine if your team is just selling 1 or 2 machines a day on your weaker leg. Scale this down to about $180, $250 a day. If your team on your weaker leg is selling a few machines a day throughout the calendar month consistently, that's a pretty life-changing income of about $4,000 to $8,000 a month just in this bonus alone. So this is where you're actually getting paid to help your team make sales, to help your team earn tier bonuses, and to really help everyone win collectively. The coaching bonus is based off of the group sales bonus that I just showed you. So this is a check matching that you get off of that last bonus on your personal sponsors and their sponsors and so on and so forth. So this one is powerful because it could potentially be your largest source of income at the higher levels of the company. You get 10% check match off of your direct sponsor. So if Jason sponsored me and I went out there and made $1,800 in the group sales bonus, Jason makes 10% of that. So he made $180. If I did that every day, Jason would make $180 a day off of me. He gets 10% of every dollar I earn in that group sales bonus for the rest of my life and the rest of his life. Second generation, you actually get 5% down to your 6th generation. So second generation is who I sign up. If I sign up my friend Tyler and Tyler makes $1,000, I would have earned $100, but Jason gets 5%. So Jason would have earned $50. And it goes all the way down 6 generations. You actually qualify by hitting the 2K or the 6K level. So when you're at the $1,000 level, you get 10% on your first generation, 5% on your second and your third. When you upgrade to the 2K, you'll open up that 4th and 5th generation. And when you upgrade to the 6K level, you'll open up that 6th and final generation, which these things compound very quickly, each generation. So here's a quick example of it. You bring in 8 individuals that you personally sponsor, and this is all their bonuses from the group sales bonus within a day. So all your direct sponsors collectively earn 14,000 in the group sales bonus. You made 10% commission. So you're looking at a $1,400 commission check that day in check matching bonus. So if we look at generation two, if those guys each bring in a few individuals who start doing well in that group sales bonus, second generation, your direct signups, personal signups that they bring in, they total to about 27,000 combined in group sales bonus. You make 5% check matching, which totals $1,350. So if this all happened in one day, you would add up both of those, you'd have made about $2,800 in coaching bonus. And just imagine you bring in 10 people who bring in 10 people who bring in 10 people who bring in 10 people. The math won't be perfect like that, but you can quickly understand that your third generation, fourth generation, fifth generation could potentially be hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of people that you're earning 5% check matching off of. It becomes very significant. Our upline, Brian, said that this is where income goes from 6 figures a year to 6 figures a month, and even from 7 figures a year to 7 figures on a monthly basis is the coaching bonus. There's really no cap to it. So the last and the final bonus is the global pool bonus. So this one is like being a shareholder in the company. So our company doesn't sell shares. They're privately owned. So none of these are publicly sold shares. You could only earn shares by building the business and hitting ranks in the company. So how that works is when you bring in someone and you hit ranks in the company, you actually earn shares in the global pool. 5% of the global annual revenue of Olylife as a company is set aside into a pool and divvied out at the end of the year amongst all the shareholders. And the only way to get shares is to actually earn them. And the only requirement to get paid out on your share every year is sponsor one sale at $1,000 device once per year in a calendar year, and you're qualified for that payout. So if you teach your children and your grandchildren how to do this, this is a lifelong share in the company that you'll earn. You'll be able to teach them how to get this yearly payout as well. So here are the different ranks. 10,000 volume on your left and on your right, which is what I showed you in that tier bonus example. It could be as little as like 10 people or so. It's not based on individuals. It's based on how much volume. But basically, you'll get one share in the company at that first rank. I'm an M2. We hit that a month or two ago. So we got 2 more shares. So now we have 3 shares in the company. And we're getting close to the M3 level, which is 500,000 volume on each leg. And you'll get 4 more shares. So I would have 7 shares total. So if these shares are worth $1,000, I'd get 7 of those shares at the end of the year in December. So, and these shares are going to get more valuable as Olylife grows. Imagine if Apple was privately traded and you could not buy those shares. You could only earn them by selling iPhones and Apple products. This is really where you're able to get a lifelong yearly residual from the company. So very cool that you can actually earn ownership in Olylife with this bonus. So global pool bonus, very powerful long-term investment. Once you hit M7, you have like 137 shares total in the company. Your grandchildren are going to be thanking you for a very long time. So that's about it with everything with Olylife, the products, the technology, the disruptive wave that we're in the business. I'll end it on this quote and pass it back to Jason. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. A quote by the legend of the industry, Zig Ziglar. I read this when I was a broke college student with zero experience in the space, and I realized that even though I had no experience, I had to start in order to get experience, and I've continued to do it. And now I have 15 years of experience at 34 years old because I decided to take action and start. I had so many friends that are like, I've never done sales. I've never done it. Well, if you never start, you'll never be good at it. And if you don't do something different, you'll never get something different in life. So many people, they go through life going through the motions, doing the same thing as everyone else does, get a job, work 9 to 5. And that's why they get the same results. And that is why 97% of the world have 3% of the population, have 3% of the wealth, and 3% of the world have 97% of the wealth. So if you want what the 3% have, you have to do what the 3% do. And direct sales and network marketing, the industry we're in, creates more millionaires than any other industry on planet Earth. Olylife has already 500 millionaires in Asia. And we literally just had our first millionaire, Van Antoine, M6 in the company, hit their $1 million like a month ago. So we have 1 millionaire in all of North America, Europe, Canada, Australia, and there's already 500. So my question to you is, will you be one of those millionaires? Will you join us on this journey, transforming lives with game-changing, affordable technology and helping other people win? Because if you can help enough people get what they want physically and financially, what you want will really come to you by default. And with that, thank you guys for your time, energy, and attention. And I will pass it back to you, Jason.
All right,
Appreciate you
everyone,
guys.
let's bring it home, guys. First of all, Darren, incredible job as always. And I want everyone to drop something in the comments right now in the chat to show Darren some appreciation, guys. Give him some love, give him some hearts, give him some, spirit fingers. Because information, guys, like that will literally change someone's life if they're open to hearing it. All right. Now, let me say something to everyone listening tonight. Look, y'all have literally like only three choices after what Darren said. Okay. I mean, after hearing a presentation like that, really, you can say to yourself, you know what? Look, this is interesting, but it's not for me. And that's okay. Look, not everyone is looking for something new. Not everyone wants to change their routine. Some people want to stay where they're at, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, nothing to be embarrassed about. All right. Choice number two, you say, look, I love the product. All right. Maybe the P90 frequency technology, it makes sense to you, right? Maybe you love cats, right? Or you love Nikola Tesla, or maybe improving your health and energy is the main reason why you're here. And that's great too, because hey, be a customer, experience it for yourself. And honestly, guys, that alone is freaking powerful. Okay. But the third option is my favorite, and that's the one that really tends to change people's lives, like Darren mentioned, right? It's the person who looks at this and says, you know what, hold up. This makes sense, number one, right? This product works, the timing is insane. And if other people can build something like this fast, make this kind of money, why not me? Right? You see, the people who win in life in general are not the smartest people. Okay? They're not the most experienced people. Actually, they're just the people who decide to get started, and that's it. Right? They don't wait until everything is perfect. Right? They don't wait until they know everything. You don't have to be a doctor of PEMF, right? Right? You don't have to be a PEMF, a PEMF daddy. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is simply say, look, I'm in. I'm in. And then they figure out the rest along the way. Okay? Because here's the truth, guys. Look, I'm going to keep it real. All right? I'm going to keep it real. Okay? 6 months from now, or even 12 months from now, this company is going to be so much bigger than it is today. So much bigger. People will know about it. Your neighbors will know about it. More people will be involved. And the only question you have to ask yourself tonight is very simple. Do you want to look back and say, oh man, I wish I started earlier. I wish I listened to Darren and I got started earlier. Or do you want to be the person who says, you know, I'm glad I got involved when I did, right? So here's what I want everyone to do right now. Look, get back with the person that invited you onto this call, all right? They're the ones who thought enough of you to say, hey, look, check out the information. That's all I want you to do. And just tell them one of three things. Number one, no. It's easy. Tell them no. It's okay. We're adults. They can handle it. Might cry. Might shed a tear. Okay. That's okay. Number two, you want to experience the product. You want to try the product. Or maybe you want a little bit more information. They can send you some more information. They can send you some videos. Go get your questions answered. Or number three, you are ready to get started right now and see what this opportunity can actually do for you. The way it's done for many, many people on this call. Changed so many lives. It's changed, my life. It changed Precious' lives so far, over $500,000 in less than, 11 months. And we didn't even want to do the business. Okay. So if that's you and you've decided to, hey, I want to run. I want to run with you. I want to run with Darren. I want to run with everybody on this call. Let's go. All right. Well, welcome to Ollie Nation Prime. We're excited to work with y'all. We'll see you guys at the top. Thank you guys for joining us and have an amazing night, everyone. Once again, thank you, Darren. You rocked it like always. Take care, guys. Peace.